Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm sorry this is posting so late, and parents. The teachers the librarians today had an all-day professional development. I've spent more time on the computer today than I've ever chosen to do. And then afterwards, I took some time to get caught up on the news about school and such, and so I picked out some poems to read because we're continuing with our music, and then I did the video, and then I decided that I would change the poems because actually when I went to go write my message to you about the story, about the poems, I guess I got a little sad, and then I decided that maybe the poems needed to be different. So I've got a real fun one for our little people, and then I've got some that will hopefully help us look at the situation and make us feel like we can do that. So first, we're going to start with some fun, okay? So, if Little Red Riding Hood, you see it there? Let me take off my jacket. By the way, this is Poems to Learn by Heart by Carolyn Kennedy. They're not her poems, but she collected them. And then the illustrator is Jon J. Muth, I guess. You know, it's real important that we keep memorizing songs and nursery rhymes like Hickory Dickory Dock or I'm a Little Teapot. It's good for our brains, and even for our older students, you know, we spend a lot of time memorizing songs. So that's good. Anytime you can do that, you're really working your muscle. So, if Little Red Riding Hood, ready? If Little Red Riding Hood had a dad, perhaps things wouldn't have turned out so bad. He'd have taught her useful things a dad can teach you, like the difference between grandma and a wolf who'll eat you. He'd have brought her 2 photographs to let her see how completely different 2 things can be. He'd show her a picture of his kindly old mother and say grandma's one thing, a wolf is another. Grandma wants to hug you and give you a kiss. A wolf wants to eat you, and he looks like this. Big teeth, big ears, and plenty of fur. Now look at your grandma. Does a wolf look like her? Your report card was great. I know you're smart, so it shouldn't be hard to tell them apart. Now please get to grandma's before it gets dark. Don't go through the forest, stay out of the park. Don't stop to talk to any wolves you meet, and don't wear that red thing when you walk down the street. And there he is. Look at his pictures. Then when this one says fast moving, it says cannot bake cookies, furry, and then this one says often gray because grandma has gray hair too, and it says your father's mom. So isn't that a fun one? What our dads can teach us. So now we'll take a serious turn, if you will, for my students who are feeling sad about today's news, or teachers who feel, or parents who feel overwhelmed. I get it. I found a poem. Oh, I should have said who that poem was by. Oh, yeah. That was by Jeff Moss. This one is from It Couldn't Be Done, and it's by Edgar Albert Guest. Are you ready? Come on, people, we've got this. It couldn't be done. Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he did it with a chuckle. But with a chuckle, bah. Let's start again. Sometimes Mrs. Nielsen's brain doesn't work. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied, that may be it couldn't, but he would be the one who wouldn't say till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If it worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed. Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it. But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubling or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it can't be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go with it, and just start in to sing as you tackle the thing that can't be done. You'll do it. And I think that was the goal that the librarians today, speaking with so many, there were about 40 of us, and talking about all the things that we want to do for our students and that we can do for our students and we will do for our students. And, you know, your teachers will do for you, and Mr. Redmond and Mr. Acosta and everybody, and your parents, oh, your lovely parents, your grandmas, your grandpas, your aunts, your uncles, everybody who's taking care of you. We are all in this together. So that was my we can do it kind of moment. And now I'm going to read one. It's a Navajo, so it's Native American tribe, and it was translated by a person named Jon K. Rothenberg. And it says, "In beauty may I walk." I thought, you know, we have to remember the things we have. So here we go. And I love the picture that we have here. It's a beautiful kind of sunset. In beauty may I walk. In beauty may I walk. All day long may I walk. Through returning seasons may I walk. Beautifully I will possess again beautifully birds, beautifully joyful birds. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With grasshoppers about my feet may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age wandering on a trail of beauty, living again may I walk. It is finished in beauty. It is finished in beauty. Now, I think that poem says to me to look around and see the beauty in each day, the beauty in everyone's faces, the beauty in our voices when we call each other, the beauty in the little things we do for one another. So I know that this can be a really sad time. I spent some time looking at the news and then looking at some of the Facebook posts, and I know this is a sad time, but we will be stronger and we will be better, and we are part of a better, bigger collection. So the last poem I'm going to read to you today is called "The World." William Brightly Rands. Ready? And here we go. There it is. It says, "Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful world, with the wonderful water round you curled, and the wonderful grass upon your breast, world, you are beautifully dressed. The wonderful air is over me, and the wonderful wind is shaking the tree. It walks on the water, it whirls on the mills, and it talks to itself on top of the hills. You, friendly earth, how far do you go? With the wheat fields that nod and the rivers that flow, with the cities and gardens and cliffs and isles, and people upon you for thousands of miles. Ah, you are so great, and I am so small. I tremble to think of you, world, at all. And yet, when I said my prayers today, a whisper inside me seemed to say, you are more than the earth. Though you are such a dot, you can love and think, and the earth cannot." So, loving and thinking, knowing that we can do this and we will do this, and we will rely on one another, and we will count on one another, and we will reach out to one another. I think that that's what we have to hold on to. You know, I'm always here for you. You can get me on Class Dojo. If you want to contact me on Google Classroom, boys and girls, you can write on the front page. Send me a note. Send me, if there's something I can do for you, I will. Okay? But hang in there. We're going to take the weekend to kind of regroup. And come Monday, we're going to be ready and willing, and we'll have fun. I promise you. Your teachers are amazing people. And your principal, your Mr. Redmond and Mr. Acosta, they're working so hard. Everyone is working so hard. Your parents, you're working so hard. We can do this. I feel like, was it Bob the Builder? Yes, we can. Okay? So, look around. Find the beauty in the day. Find the beauty in each other. And appreciate everything we have. Okay? Love ya. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.